Hello everyone, and welcome to ESET's presentation, Do More with ESET. My name is Ben Reed, and I'm Senior Technical Content Strategist for ESET North America. And one thing that we've seen over the years is that lots of organizations do not give budget priority to their IT departments. So what that means is there's IT departments with not enough staff or not enough budget to do their jobs effectively. And in the education world, this problem is compounded by one-to-one initiatives that are greatly increasing the number of OSs and devices that IT departments have to support. So in order to help with limited budgets and limited staff, we believe we allow IT departments to do more with ESET's management server, ESET Remote Administrator, which is included with every ESET purchase. So what can you do with ESET's Remote Administrator? So we're going to go through asset management, software management, update management, user notification and communication, how you can troubleshoot users' computers, and full MDM for Android and iOS capabilities built in as well. So first, we'll take a look at asset management, which allows you to track the manufacturer and model number of computers. So whether it's a Dell or HP, track OS information, track serial numbers, and you can even monitor things like how much hard drive space is left on devices, or when users have plugged in third-party devices like cell phones and flash drives and so forth. So how some companies are utilizing this is they're applying different policies to computers when they're on-premise versus off-premise. They're defining device control rules to block third-party devices such as flash drives or cell phones based on the logged-in user. Or they're whitelisting only certain flash drives to be able to be plugged in so that the devices that IT has can always be plugged into computers without having to log off and log on. And then, of course, we can send a notification or alert about any of these things. So some people are sending a notification when computer's hard drive space is running low. So now it's not something that you have to monitor. We are going to let you know when there is a concern. Software management allows you to track the installed software and their versions. So we have robust reporting that shows you all of the applications installed across your organization, the versions, and how many computers that piece of software is on. You can then automate the install and uninstall of any application that you might want, even if they're completely unrelated to ESET. And you can execute command line scripts on remote computers directly from the management server. So how some companies are utilizing this is they're sending alerts to the IT staff when someone installs a particular program that should not be on computers at your organization. Or they're automatically uninstalling unapproved applications once they're on computers. So once you set that up once, you never have to worry about that specific application ever again. And then finally, executing command line scripts on those remote devices. We also can do update management. So we can manage OS updates not just for Windows, but for Mac and Linux. We can install all of the recommended updates or the recommended and optional updates, and we can reboot the computers automatically when it's been completed. So some companies are going ahead and utilizing dynamic groups to automatically identify computers that have not been updated. Their OS hasn't been updated in 7 days, 10 days, a month, whatever it ends up being that you determine. Then on Friday at 3 p.m., pop up a notification on users' screens letting them know, please do not shut down your computer because we're going to run updates. Then at 5 p.m., automatically execute those OS updates, then reboot the computer when it's completed. Next, we have user notification communication, which allows us to pop up notifications and alerts on users' computers. So like we did in the previous scenario, popping up a message letting users know, please do not turn off your computers at the end of the day. We can let users know that we're going to have downtime, not just for computers, but for specific applications. Or we can notify users when they break a company policy. So maybe once they install a specific application, pop up something letting them know they should not have done that on their work computer. And so some companies, that's exactly what they're doing. They're first using ESET's dynamic grouping system to automatically locate computers where unapproved software is installed. Then notifying users that they broke company policy by installing that software. Then automatically uninstalling that software from the machine. And once you set this up once, you never have to worry about it again. We'll go ahead and do this every single time this specific action happens. From the management server, you can also directly troubleshoot computers. You don't need a remote into that computer. You don't need to walk over to their desk. You can first initiate a Specter Log, which is built into all of our endpoint products and can be viewed directly from the management server. And it allows you to see running processes, registry keys, event logs, network connections. And it looks a little bit like this. So this is a screenshot of it from our management server. And you can see we have all of the criteria on the left-hand side that you can view, like services, drivers, event logs. At the top of the screen, we have a risk level that allows you to adjust it, and we will show you what items we think you should be concerned about. And that's based off our file reputation, our behavioral analysis, and heuristics. And we make determinations about files, processes, and so forth running on that system. And how some companies utilize this is they automatically initiate a Specter Log after they've re-imaged the computer or after they've purchased a brand new computer. Then once a user starts complaining about slowdown, whether it's the next day, whether it's months down the line, you can execute another Specter Log. And then ESET has the ability to compare those two logs and show you exactly what has changed over those days or months or weeks, whatever it ends up being. So you can quickly pinpoint the cause of slowdown or the problem that the user is experiencing. And then finally, MDM for iOS and Android. Lots of companies have to go out and purchase another solution. And they only want to do MDM for Android and iOS. They don't want to have a separate management server just for that feature, I should say. And so ESET's management server builds MDM for these OSs directly into the exact same management server. And so from the exact same pane of glass that you manage those servers and desktops, you can do MDM for iOS and Android. So we have the ability to restrict applications on devices, remotely lock them and wipe them. We can manage web content filtering on those devices so that users can only go to specific websites or categories that you choose. You can implement security policies like restricting camera usage, requiring a PIN code or fingerprint. And like I mentioned, it's all managed through the exact same console as the computers and servers. For a little bit more about ESET, we'll go quickly through what sets ESET apart from the others, and a little bit of information about the company ESET. So first, ESET has several offices worldwide. As you can see, we have offices in Europe, Asia, South America, North America, Australia, and so forth. So we're very much a worldwide organization. ESET, the company, officially was established in 1992. However, our original product was developed in 1987. So we've been doing this now for 30 years. We have over 1,200 employees worldwide. We have partners spanning over 200 countries, and we're now the fourth largest business endpoint security vendor in the world. And over those 30 years, we've been constantly evolving our product to make sure we always stay one step ahead of the newest threats that are out there. Whether it's viruses, malware, ransomware, we protect against anything malicious on the endpoints, and we utilize a multi-layered defense. So we're not saying that we're using machine learning and that's the only thing we're using. We have machine learning built into our product, but we also leverage things like heuristics, behavioral analysis, cloud-based detection, and so forth. So we have lots of different features that all come together to provide what we think is the best protection on the market. And so on the endpoint side, we have lots of different products that can support your entire environment. So Windows, Mac, Linux, Android, and iOS. On the server side, we protect mail servers not just from viruses and malware and any other malicious content, but also from spam. We protect servers and SharePoint servers, and we have a product that even runs at the gateway level to protect devices where you're unable to install any sort of endpoint security on them. Our web content filtering is done at the endpoint level. So no matter if it's a Windows or Mac or Linux device, we can block users from going to specific websites or categories of websites. And because it's done at the endpoint level, we can see what website users are going to. So it's much harder to bypass with the typical culprits of VPNs and proxies. The ESET Remote Administrator is pre-configured to our best practices, so it doesn't require a lot of time to set up and get running at all. We have 24 pre-configured policies set up for you. We automatically remediate threats by default, and we have automatic exclusions set up for Microsoft applications. So it's giving your IT department more time back so that you don't have to worry about those sorts of things at all. And we finally have free US-based support to help you whenever you might run into any sort of issue or you just have a few questions about different things. So how do you switch? We know that switching AVs can be a nightmare because it requires several reboots, downtime, and it doesn't work sometimes. So ESET created something called ESET Rip and Replace, which simplifies and automates the migration of any AV on the market to ESET. It's a single MSI that requires no reboots and no downtime, and even no user interaction. So you deploy a single MSI and it moves you fully from whatever AV you might be running to ESET without any of those things. And the best part is we guarantee it to work 100% of the time. So now you shouldn't have that AV hesitation, migration hesitation, because we make it very simple and easy for companies to migrate to our solution. And ESET as a company also offers other things like two-factor authentication and encryption. And two-factor authentication is very simple to get set up, just like our core product. It's a 13 megabyte installer. It requires no dedicated hardware and it integrates directly into Active Directory. And our encryption product is centrally managed, requires no network changes, and the removable media encryption is very easy for users to understand. And that's what we always focus on with our products, is not just making it easy for the IT admin, but making it easy for the end users as well, so that they don't complain that things aren't working like they should. And then they ask you to remove it from their computer. So you need to make it easy for both parties. So in saying that, that's kind of how we believe that you can do more than just manage AV with ESET solutions. Thank you very much for joining today and have a great day.